So, Three Peaks Challenge. I did it. I did it. I did the Three Peaks Challenge within the 24-hour time limit. 23 hours and 15 minutes. I'm so proud and chuffed and pleased. I did it. So, how was it? How did it go? It was great. It was amazing. It was unlike anything I've ever done before. But yeah, I did it. So started off, went up to Scotland. Obviously, we started at Ben Nevis at Fort William. Lovely little train ride up to Fort William, by the way. Really beautiful. So we started off on Tuesday morning. Started walking up Ben Nevis. Really excited. It was hard going. But it was good. My body was fresh. I was excited, full of energy, and yeah. Each mountain has a time that you should aim to walk up and down it in order to get to the 24-hour mark. So Ben Nevis was a 5-hour mountain, i.e., you should be able to get up and down again within 5 hours. I did it in 4 hours and 50 minutes. Not too shabby. So yeah, beautiful views. It was an amazing day actually. Really brilliant weather. They said that it's quite rare to get weather like that. So we had amazing views, really nice conditions. It wasn't raining, it wasn't windy, it wasn't too hot either. We got up in decent time, so we managed to get up and get our selfies and have a quick look at the view. We only had a couple of minutes up at the top because it was all about getting down in time. And we were being led by these mountain leaders who were taking our party up. They were fantastic, really great. They knew their stuff. They kept us safe, but also kept us motivated, kept us happy. They actually travelled with us in the minibus as well, because it was all like an organised tour. So they travelled with us, ate with us, slept with us, and walked up the mountains with us. So it was brilliant. So yes, Ben Nevis, got that one done. Under the belt, really chuffed within that time period, within that 5-hour period. Really pleased. Really enjoyed that. And then got into the minibus and started driving down south to England. It was a long old drive. Tried to get some sleep. Didn't really manage that. Also had some food as well, because we had to keep eating while we were doing this. We were burning calories. We need to feed our muscles. We got down south and we got to the next mountain, Scafell Pike. We started walking up Scafell Pike at 10 p.m. So it was in the pitch black. Fortunately, one of the mandatory bits of kit is a head torch, so we all had head torches. And so we could see where we were going perfectly fine. You know, the path was illuminated, but we couldn't see any views whatsoever. So I'd love to go back to Scafell Pike to actually see what it looks like. But again, we got up in the time frame. With Scafell Pike, it's a 4-hour up and down, and especially at night, what they do is they enforce a turnaround time. Where basically, if you haven't reached the summit within the 2-hour mark, half of 4 hours, then wherever you are at the 2-hour mark, you're coming back down again. So it's a bit of pressure. Really got to work to get up to the top, and we did. We got up to the top. We made it, and we came down safely. We had to be a bit more careful because it was dark, in as much as we had to stick together as groups. By that point, I was in a group of about 5 or 6. Being led by one of the mountain leaders, a guy called Ice, and so we had to stick together and work together as a team rather than sort of some of us running off and some of us lagging behind. We had to stick together. But yeah, that was really good. The conditions stayed fair. We were forecast rain, but we managed to avoid most of it, which was brilliant, because that would have been really miserable walking up in the dark and the rain. So the conditions stayed fairly fair, and we got up with no real issues. A few of my colleagues had some niggling issues of like injury and weakness, so it took a little bit longer to get down, but we still got down within the period. I made 3 hours 53 minutes, So I was pleased with that. Down to the minibus, had a bit of instant porridge, a quick cup of coffee, and into the minibus, driving to Wales, driving to Snowdon, and not having any reception to send Sarah any texts. So she was going a bit bonkers, not hearing from me. So yes, managed to get a couple of hours sleep there, and then we eventually arrived in Wales. We eventually arrived at Snowdon, and we had typical Welsh weather. It was chucking it down, and it was windy too. So this was the last mountain, and I was tired, and my legs were aching. I had a bit of a pain in my right leg. I had a muscle that was starting to go a little bit in my right leg, and it was raining and windy. And we went up what's called the pig track, so called because they used that particular track to bring down pig iron that they'd mined or bring it up. They transported pig iron on that track. But it was steep. One of the reasons why they choose that track is because it's a fast track, but the ascent is steep, and it was climbing at various stages. Whereas some of the others were a bit more like walking and then with some kind of stepping up. This definitely felt more like climbing a mountain at stages. And as I said, I by that point had a painful right leg, so actually lifting my right leg up was painful every time I did it. I had to do that quite a lot. I didn't have hiking poles, I didn't bring them in the end, and for Snowdon that would have helped. But I managed to make it. I kept on telling myself I was going to make it. People have said in the past that there comes a time when it becomes a mental challenge, and in fact, Freya told me that your body can do so much more than your mind gives it credit for, and I definitely found that at Snowdon that it became a mental thing, that I had to just keep on telling myself I was going to get to the top. I was going to get to the top, and eventually we did get to the top. Still wind and rain lashing down on us, and at one point it felt almost as I was going to get blown off. It was really quite grim, but we got to the top, we made it, and then we started the descent, and we came down on what's called the Llanberis path, which is actually a path that Sarah and I walked up a month or two ago, so it was familiar to me, although we didn't get quite to the top when we went up. But that path was familiar to me. So coming down then on a familiar path did help mentally as well. But I was in a lot of pain by that point. But I wanted to make the time period. I wanted to do the challenge within 24 hours. And I had a little bit of spare time that I'd made up in the other mountains, a little bit spare with the travelling. But I wanted to do it. Snowdon was classified as a 4-hour mountain, 2 up, 2 down. I did it within 4 hours and 2 minutes, which I thought wasn't bloody bad. And I obviously did the 24-hour challenge. The last little stretch, I decided to do a little jog, just because I wanted to, and came down, and yes, I did it. I was so chuffed. Some of my friends from work were there. Will, my boss, he bought us all hot dogs and chips, which was fantastic. We had a plastic beaker of Prosecco, but everyone was thrilled that we'd finished it and we'd completed it. It was such a personal kind of achievement. We were really, really thrilled. So yes, that's me. That's done. That's this challenge completed. And I just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for supporting me, for wishing me well, for asking me how it's going, for making comments on my Facebook pages. Everyone who's donated to the charities, thank you so much. If you still want to do that, there's still the link available, but also you can contact me privately, and I can submit donations for you as well if you don't do the online thing. But yes, thank you so much. I hope to continue this new, fitter, leaner Jack. I hope so. So maybe I'll be doing some more walks and things like that, but maybe not quite like this for a little while. Yeah, take it easy for a little bit. Anyway, I'll see you all soon. Lots of love. Have a great day. Bye.